Hello viewers, here's a ThinkCenter computer. This is one of those so-called all-in-one computers. Well, I wouldn't really classify this as such because it's more of just a monitor that holds everything in one place. Because the computer here is a regular ultra small form factor desktop computer, which I think, I'm not even sure how this comes out of here now. I should have gathered this information prior to the video. I think this comes out like that and then it goes up. There we go. Now it's getting caught on something. Feels like something's plugged in somewhere. Let's see here. Is there something over here? I don't know. It looks like this should open. There we go. Okay, there's a USB cord plugged in for the Digital video disc player. It's gonna be a nightmare plugging that back in. So here's the machine. It's a regular desktop computer. So this is an all-in-one per se, but I mean it's really not. It's a regular computer sitting in a monitor, which is fine. In fact, I'd rather be that way because now the computer is serviceable and the power cord is you know, the power supply is within the cord, so if that broke, you just replace that. Anyway, so here's the computer. This is a Lenovo ThinkCentre M900, and this is made in July of 2016. So now I think we're going to have an issue with the Windows installing because I think it came with Windows 10, which I abhor and I'm not going to use. So I may have to go and get the other installer, the USB 3 Windows installer, instead of this one, because this is the old one. I'll try it and see if it works, but I think we're going to have an issue. Anyway, so let's get inside this computer. We're going to upgrade the components, replace the drive, because I think the drive has failed. I don't know what it was with these computers, but the drives didn't seem to last very long. I mean, I don't consider 5 years a long time. You know, I like to get a decade or more out of my equipment, and for the most part, I usually do. But these seem to go in a matter of 4 or 5 years. They're just not built the way they used to be. It's a Western Digitan drive, so that's kind of surprising to me that they're failing so much, but I guess it's like everything else, it's just not what it used to be. So let's get this drive out of here. This is a 500 gigabytes drive. I'm not going to discard this just yet. I will try to test it in another computer and see. Maybe if we give it a new reformat it and reinstall the Windows, maybe it'll work again. I don't know. It's a possibility. I think this has to come out there, and then it should back up like that. And now we have to undo all these 4 screws around the outside. We got some flaming going on here. Why isn't this coming out? Okay. I have another hard drive here. This is a light off drive. It's a solid state drive. I don't think the Light-Off is a very reliable brand, but there's not going to be any documents or anything stored on this computer, so if it breaks, it breaks. No problem. Goof. Okay, let's see what kind of memory we got in here. I suspect this is going to be the 4. Yeah, it's 4. I don't know what that stuff is. I'm going to go ahead and put 16 in. Sure don't need 16. I probably could get away with 2. But I have this memory floating around, so might as well use it. Ain't doing any good sitting in the closet. Ah, it's too old. Okay, we're not using that memory. It's supposed to be a different kind. See, this computer's getting a little too new for me. I don't have parts for it. Well, that's fine anyways. 8 is more than adequate. Especially with flash memory for the drive, no problem. Okay, so this is going to sit back in here like this. Okay, this goes back in. Fan don't look too bad. Yeah, it's still pretty clear. Okay. Now there is one thing I like about this particular model over some of the other ones, and that is the fact that the audio port is on the back. I don't know why they do this, but on the Dell Micro ones, like the 7040 I showed in a previous video, and the older version of this particular model that I've showed in other videos, the only audio port is on the front. And it's stupid because you set it up on a table, okay, and it's ridiculous because it you got cords coming out the front to get audio. So this one, audio is on the back, so I give them props for doing that. It's a good design. Alright, so the hardware's been upgraded in this thing. Not sure how the installation of Windows is going to go, but we'll find out momentarily once we get this back in place. That sits down in there. And on this side, there is the USB CD drive. I'm not exactly sure how they expect you to plug this in. That's terrible. Unless you're supposed to plug that in before you put the thing all the way down. I don't know. Is it even possible? Can you plug it in? Yeah, I guess you could plug it in like this. Maybe. Nah, no chance. Alright, there's got to be something I don't understand here. What am I missing about this? Does this slide out? Huh, okay. And I really need the CD drive to work because that's how I was going to install the Windows. Well, I was able to unplug it with it in place, so I tend to think I should be able to replug it with it in place, but I don't know. Oh, there we go. It just slid out a little bit. Now I think I can plug it in now. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so that's that, and then over here we have this thing, which is power, display port, and USB that connects in there like that, and then the power cord goes in below. It goes in here. And what else are we gonna need? I guess that's it for now. Oh, the mouse and keyboard. I'm gonna use this cordless. I'm not a big fan of cordless peripherals, but I'll use them anyways. So put that in there, and that's that. Okay. So let's go ahead and plug this thing in. Let's see if we can install. I think we're going to have a problem here. I'm going to have to make that Flanagan installer with USB 3 on it. But let's see. Let's see what happens. Don't need the mouse yet, but we need the KD. Let's get this keyboard on. It's not on. I missed it. Enter, enter, enter. Can I get it? Oh, there's no battery in here, is there? Oh, there is batteries in here. I don't know if they're any good, though. Oops, what happened? That's not what I want. Let's get out of there. Okay, that is working. Yes, exit. What is it doing? Enter. This is taking a long time. Okay, I want to go into the BIOS, take a look at that. Okay, so let's see what we have here. The date and time is wrong. It's a year behind, so let's fix that. The time is correct. It's kind of like 06. 7/21/2021. That's correct. Why is that set? Oh, the BIOS revision. Okay, I was confused. So we have 4 cores, 8 gigabytes memory, 6500 T's. This is a relatively new processor. Okay. USB setup this fine. Legacy support is enabled. ATA drive. Okay. Video setup. We don't need any network boot. dust shield. I don't know what that is. Why not? Power. Okay. After the power loss, we want it off. We do not need enhanced power saving. I do not like smart powering on. It can be as loud as it wants. Don't need that. Don't need any of this. BIOS updated recently. Huh. Secure boot, we do not want that on. Okay, so we want the... Where's the drive? We change the order, let's see. Plus. Okay. Okay. We're probably going to end up doing legacy only, but I think it can detect that just fine. Let's save these changes. I'm going to put the Windows CD in now. I suppose this is not really a CD, it's a digital video disc or a DVD. And this is going to be the Windows 7 Home Premiums. Okay, so let's do a reset. I don't know why this takes so long. Okay, so we're going to do a legacy because I don't think it has the capacity to work in UEFI. I expect it to crash. Let's see what happens. Sometimes things work nicely. It's rare, but it does exist. It looks like it's going to work. Okay, cool. I'm not going to complain about that. Let's turn the mouse on. Okay, so now here's where we have a dilemma because there's no USB 3 drivers to make the USB 3 ports work, and I'm guessing the CD drive must have been plugged into one of the USB 2 ports, of which I think there's only one. So may have to see here. Yeah. Should have known it wasn't going to be easy. Okay, what I may be able to do is I may be able to split that USB 2 port with a hub. Oh, wait a minute. Are those USB 2 ports right there? Hold on, we may not be out of luck yet. May be able to make this work. I think these are USB 2 ports over here. I think. They sure look like it. They're not yet. They're not blue. I may have to redo it for it to recognize the keyboard. Alright, I'm going to turn it off and we're going to try again. I know there is one USB 2 Alt-P. I know there is one USB 2 port on this desktop, so it's possible that I could put like a hub or something in there and split it between the keyboard and mouse and the CD drive if this doesn't work. Oh, it looks like it's working. I think I may be able to do it this way. Let's see. F12. I'm going to do a legacy. Because there's USB 2 ports right there. So maybe this will work. Don't see a cursor, so we're not off to a good start here. Nope. Okay. So let's see what we have here as far as the ports go. Yeah, we just have the one USB 2. Oh, that's not part of the CD drive. I thought that was part of the CD drive. It's not. Okay, so what I may be able to do is I don't think it'll let me. Maybe I can go. Oh, wait a minute. That's a USB 3 port as well. What the heck? So how is it able to interface with this? With the CD. That's weird. Okay, well, I for some reason I thought that was a USB 2 port. Okay, I'm gonna have to just get the other installer with the USB 3 drivers on it. Okay, let's put this back on here. I gotta get this CD out of here. Let's get this thing out of here. That's not where it belongs. The reason why these weren't working is because I believe those connect through a USB 2 port. Okay. Now, put this KD back in, this mouse thing. And I'm going to turn it off again. I think it's this USB. The B USB that I just threw across the room. I think it's this USB that has the Windows on it. So I probably should just put, oh, I'm going to eject it now. I guess it don't matter, I'm turning the thing off anyways. That's weird that it even worked at all from the CD. I would have expected it to crash. Okay, there we go. We want to do an F12, and I'm going to try a UEFI. Why not? Let's see what happens. Looks like it's working. Not to say it's going to work for very long, but it's working for the moment. It's taking some time. It's not froze up. I can see it's still moving, but it's taking a while. Surprised it's taking this long. It's flash memory at this point. It should be going faster. Even the CD didn't take this long. The flash drive indicator light isn't flashing no more. I think it may have froze. It's been sitting for several minutes. This is taking way longer than it should. So we're going to cut it off and try a legacy. I don't think my USB drive is corrupt, but maybe it is. The CD-ROM is empty. I'm not even sure why that's bothering to come up. I think that drive is corrupt. I hate these stupid flash drives. They always corrupt. Let's try this one. I'm not sure what's on this one, but it's one way to find out. I have to remake the other one, I guess. It's going to be a nuisance. Doesn't even say what's on it. Okay, that's corrupt too. Okay, so I'm gonna have to rebuild the installer now. Okay, we are now on day 2 of this. I had to cut the video off and look at this for several hours because I couldn't get it to work. I got it to work. As you can see here, this was the machine that was in the back of the unit. Windows 7 is successfully running stably on this machine. So I did figure it out, but I'm not going to use it. Because during the process of trying to figure it out, I noticed that it has 3 display outputs on the back of the machine. And when I looked at the specifications, I also discovered that it can draw 3 screens. So then I thought about using it upstairs in the computer room instead, but then once I got Windows installed and I looked at the specifications, it surprisingly is not anywhere near as powerful as the machine that's already there. This was getting a 5.9 index, I think. Or no, well, it was getting a 5.9 index in this state because the hard drive. It would have otherwise gotten a 6.9 out of 7.9. The machine upstairs gets a 7.7 out of 7.9. Plus it has the card reader and it's already there, so there's absolutely no reason to put this upstairs. But what I will do, because it has the audio port on the back, is I will set this up at the computer table down here by the cleaning area. Because that computer, while it works perfectly fine, is quite old and it takes some time to get going, and it just doesn't make sense to keep using it when I have something like this on hand, which is much faster. So I'm going to put this one over there. Now, it was a production to get the Windows 7 installed because there is an issue with Windows 7 and Skylake processors, because the Skylake processors are XHCI and the Windows 7 installer is EHCI, and so it won't see the drive when you do the install. I was able to get around that. It was very difficult, and there was zero manufacturer support. I don't quite understand why they took it down. Intel used to offer a patching tool that would make you an ISO that included the code for XHCI, and they seem to have taken that off. There is another tool available and it doesn't work, and so I had to do things in a very cockamamie way, but I got it to work. So I'm going to do a whole separate video on showing how to do that, because I don't think there's really any documentation out there that shows how to do it. So anyways, we're going to revisit this computer in the future. I don't know if we had to get to it today. I got other things to do today, but I do have plans for this computer. Where's the drive at? And I will use it for something else. But today we're going to go back to the monitor, and I'm going to put a different computer in there, and I'm going to use it in the bedroom still as I originally planned. Just close this thing up here. And where's the screw? I mean, it's getting a little messy here. Okay, where's the screw? That's not good. Here it is. That's the old one. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I have a slightly older system, which is this one. This is an M93, whereas this one is the M900. This is the M93, and Windows 7 runs exceptionally well on these systems. These were the last, well, they were in the era of the last systems that had like native Windows 7 support. Whoa, but they were really the last ones as far as power was concerned that had it. I believe this was made in like 2015, 2014, somewhere in there. Yeah, the end of 2015. So this one was one of the last models that natively supported Windows 7, and it really runs Windows 7 exceptionally well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this system into the back of the screen here, and I'll use this in the bedroom, providing the ports are the same. I think that they are. Yeah, it looks like it's the same, so I think I should be able to put this in the monitor and it won't be an issue. So I'm going to see if I can upgrade the RAM, because this is 8 in there, and I think I have memory that will fit in here, so we'll put 16 in there, and then I got to get another solid state drive that we'll put in here as well. Okay, I have the new memory. Let's put this in. This is 8 times 2, that'll give us 16 gigabytes, which is far more than I really need in there, but as I've been saying, it's sitting here in the basement in a box. It's not doing any good there. I might as well put it in the computer. Okay, and now the drive, let's see here, this isn't looking too good there. The drive kind of screws in from the bottom. It's a little bit of a weird thing here. This, it looks like it came out. It's not really what I wanted to happen. Well, at least that goes back on fairly easily. Okay, so it screws in from the bottom. The problem in this case is that the drive has like a tape thing over it, so I'm going to have to peel that off. I'm not sure why they taped it over like this. It's kind of stupid. But anyways, it does have the holes. Just have to expose them. Shouldn't have to do this, but it was a free drive, so I'm not complaining. Okay, so now this is going to sit in here. I think it sits in here like this. I shouldn't have taken this out and left it out for so long. Yeah, it goes in there like that, so the drive will go like this. It should kind of sit down in there like that. It's not fitting great because it's got this tape on it, but I don't know, whatever, it's good enough. Goof. Get in there. Yeah, that thing is all messed up on that one side. I'm not sure what happened to it. Okay, so now we make the connections here, the SATA connections, and then I'll screw this back down. Okay. Okay, and now we'll close the thing back up. The fan looks pretty clean, the radiator is clear. I always just check to make sure you can see light through it still. You can, so we're not going to bother cleaning it out. And now put the cover back on. One final screw here. I'm noticing we have a spare part. I think this goes to the other system, so we'll set that aside. This goes to the mount thing here. Okay, so this system is all assembled and ready to go. Now we're going to put this back into the computer. Or we're going to put this back into the monitor. This is not a computer. And I think everything should fit just fine. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. Yeah, that lines up correctly. And the CD drive, I guess, is intended to plug into the USB 1 port. The only issue that I could foresee here, unless, well, it has audio out there. I don't know if it has audio in anywhere. The audio in port kind of gets covered by the CD, but I don't use that in the bedroom, so it's irrelevant. Does it have audio in somewhere else? Well, I guess it doesn't, so I suppose you'd have to disconnect the CD thing. wanted to use audio in. Or I suppose you could probably put it, we could plug this in up here. Yeah, I don't like the way that fits, so I'll just put it in the lower one. It's irrelevant anyways in this use case. Okay, so that's all connected. We'll close that up. And I'm going to connect the mouse and keyboard thing. Is that already in the computer? Here it is. I guess I'll connect it on this side here. I'll just put it over here. This is fine. Okay, and then I'm going to plug in my external hard drive. This has the Windows installer on it. It says the USB 3 driver, so we'll go right into USB 3. Now, I had to modify that ISO to get the USB 3 drivers on there. We're going to talk about that in a separate video, because that too has become very frustrating in recent times. Okay, so now we're ready to go here. Let's take this out front so we can see the status light. Turn everything off, and let's start again. Okay, and we're going to do the USB hard drive, and this absolutely flies because we're going from, instead of a USB, like those, what do you call them, those flash drives. You know, I've come to really despise those things because they're very slow for the most part, and they just don't work that good. They're very unreliable. They crash, they corrupt, they just flat out die, and that's what happened. I think in the previous video, one of them corrupted on me, or earlier in this video, I think one of them got corrupt. It's agitating. So that's why I put the ISO onto a hard drive this time, and it'll work a lot better. And of course, inside it's flash memory. It's USB 3 to the external, so it should install in just a few minutes. Okay, this is the internal drive here. This is the Windows installer. Let's go. And I'll quick through this part. Right now it is 1:39. I suspect we'll be done by 1:45. Okay, and we're done. 1:45, right on the nose. That's crazy. I remember back in the day this used to take 40, 50 minutes, sometimes an hour if it wasn't a good machine, because it was reading off of a CD. Okay, this is going to be the bedroom computer. Let's see what kind of drivers we have on here, if any. I think it may have some drivers. Nope, it doesn't have any drivers. Okay, so we're gonna have to get the drivers, which is fine. We already have the USB external, so we'll just we'll eject that. Okay, and I have the other computer here. We'll go into the other computer and we'll get the drivers off the server. Okay. So I think I should have that Ethernet driver in the software folder on here. Okay, let's see. Driver is, we want Lenovo M93P. And there's the Ethernet driver. Where's the USB drive? There it is. Okay. Close everything out of here. Go back to here. I think we're going to be done with this other laptop for today. Oops. And I'll go ahead and plug in the Ethernet cable. Gonna be done with this USB drive for this video as well. Okay, it's installed. Okay, so now we have to fix the updates. So I'm going to map to my file server here. Okay, and I've shown this on video a number of different times, but since there seem to be some people that don't believe it still works, I'll show it again. This is the Windows 7 Windows Update Agent x64, because this is a 64-bit machine. And here's the date. It is in fact July 23rd, 2021. We'll install this update. Okay, now we'll do a finish. I think it's going to ask us to reboot, and there it is. Okay, we're done with that, so we'll delete it. And I always turn this off, I don't want to do it by itself. And we'll check for the updates, and when we come back, it should have updates. And there's the updates, so the fix absolutely still works. Hopefully we'll have a couple drivers in here. Yep, there we go. There's some drivers. So put those in, and once it's all up to date, I will come back on the video. All the updates were installed, the drivers were installed, and now the computer is here in place in the bedroom. Let's see if we get some more light on it. It's a nice clean setup, but I'm not sure if I'm going to like these peripherals or not. This mouse is kind of flaky in the way it moves the cursor around, and this keyboard, I don't know. I'm not strictly opposed to membrane keyboards. I would certainly prefer a Model M or something like that, but there are plenty of membrane keyboards that I find satisfactory. I don't think this is going to be one of them, but I'll give it a shot because, you know, it's a matching set. I'd like to use it as it is, but if I have to go back to the other peripherals, I will. The audio port is there on the side, so I put that 90-degree thing on there so that it would go like that, and it's still funny, man, but from the front you don't see it, so it's fine. That's the main reason I had to get rid of the other computer, because that having the cord in the front like that was just awful. It was driving me nuts. So this is better as far as that's concerned. I think the other computer was a 6.9, this is a 6.6, and not much of a difference. There's the specifications on the processor and the memory. And we'll go in here to see the individual specifications. So it's a pretty high performance computer. So that's it. This is in here now, and we'll see how this works out.